Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm ready. Last time we covered the very beginning of the R program. We just get familiar with the RStudio interface, and I introduced the basic uh, corporation operations of R. But that's just what a normal calculator can do. So R is much more powerful than that. So today we'll continue to learn some more useful and more powerful functions, and let's get started. Okay, when we go to the RStudio, we will get this screen, and first we clean the screen with Control L. Today, first I will show you the strings. Yesterday we just showed the R how to calculate the numbers, deals with numbers. Today I'll show you the strings. For example, R can deal with strings, but different with numbers, the strings has to be quoted with double quote or single quote. If without quote, R will not recognize it. You see, we got an error message because R does not watch the hello word, except we have assigned a value to the hello or word. How about we need to quote be inside the quote like this? For example, I said hello. So we need to quote outside and with a single quote inside, like this. So there's a quote size must be in pair. If you have like this, which is not in pair, this one is in pair as well. But you see, the outside is single and inside is double quote marks. So the R will detect as add a escape sign. This one is escape signs. We don't need to worry about it in current situation. And okay, let's go to the vectors. R actually will deal any input as a vectors. You see the ones, every one is one. You might wonder, what does the one means? Actually, the one means there's the first element follows the one. If we have more than one, we will know what does it means, because the one just tells us the order, the position of the following elements. For example, we create a code from 1 to 10, one by one. Yeah. See, you can see the following one is 1, because this is long enough space, so we will not show the second line. But if I go to this, go to this and rerun that again. You see, this one is becomes a 2 nines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 9. So the following one is the 9, the nice one. So that's the square numbers tells what's the following element, the position. Okay, we can create another sequence. This is a SEQ is a sequence function. The function is a sequence function is a basic R function, which will create a sequence from tells the function you want to start with 1, 2, you want to end as 100, and by 10, which means that any two numbers, their distance is 10. See that 1 plus 10 is 11, plus 10 is 21, plus 10 is 31, and so on and so forth. And of course, we can get the from higher number to lower number. Here we start from 1000, but we end with 100, and two numbers distance is minus 100. You see here from 1000 to 900, 800, 700, and so on and so forth, and all the way down to 100. So we can clear the screen with Control L. And we can also tell the R how long we want the vector. Here we length out, argument length out tells that we want 23 numbers from 1 to 100. You see, this one is the 8th number. This one is the 15th number, and this one is 22nd number, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, the last one is 27 because we want 27 numbers in total. And yeah. After sequence, we have a repeat, which means repeat the value with times. Here, this is a vector. We repeat the vector 2 times. IEP is short for repeat. So 135, 135, repeat 135 2 times. But we can also notice the difference. Here is times 2 equals to 2. There's each equals to 2. We see the difference. Yeah, we repeat each one 2 times. 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, 5. Okay, after that, we will use the sample. Sample functions tells R to randomly select 10. Here size equals to 10, so we randomly select 10 numbers from where? From 1 to 100. And replace equals to true, which means here T means true. You can type the capital letter TRUE or just with true, but has to be capital. Yeah, we select from 1 to 100 and 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8. Yes, randomly. So notice that each way with small true we will get an error. Object true not found. Yeah, because we haven't assigned true. Here it's suppose we toss a coin, a fair coin. One is head, one is tail. So what do we get? We get head, tail, head, 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 tail, 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 which means the first coin is head, the second coin is tail, the third is head, and so on and so forth. Which means we imitate a toss coin. Okay, now I'm going to show you a very important one assignment: create jobs, create objects. Do you see that here, the environment, we have nothing. Although we have created this one, but it does not store. If we want to store, for example, if we want to get this number again, we have to type this. That's a little time consuming with time. So we can just assign it. For example, we assign a value to x. Oh, I got a error. Need to restart it. It happens. Okay, let's go back to, yeah. For example, here, Ctrl L, clean X. You see that we have got an X here. This does not show the X, but we can call it. Just type X, return, then I will show you what we created here. So we can use these objects in the following. So X, this is called assignment. We read it as X get the value of the following one. This is an assignment. If you type assignment, you need to press Shift and this then and minus. So you need to, that's a little time consuming. So we have an shortcut. We just go to tools and modify keyboard shortcuts and find ACES assignment. You will see you insert assignment operator. You can change it. For example, you just use Alt plus minus, but I like to use Command-7. So I use that. You can choose whatever, whichever shortcuts you like. So if I press Y and Command-7 got assignment 27. Yeah, it does give us a store it. So when I want to know what is Y, we can call it. Yeah, it gets it 27. So after we store it, we can, for example, we get a tail. Here we sign another. We can table it. This is a basic function of R table it, which means they tell us how many heads is and how many tail. In this case, we have a 7 head and a 3 tail. Okay, if we want to locate the elements in a vector, we can use this function. For example, x with parentheses. For example, we want to find this one is because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So x5. Yeah, we got 43. We want to number 9, x9. Yeah, we get 87. If we want to get z, we need to check what's the fourth element of z. It's head. Yes, just like that. And we can also, yeah, in this case we can find the not only 1, we can find 2. And also if we want to find from 4 to 7, you can get this like this. Yes, from 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, like this. Yes, from 4 to 7. And this one is the first one is the ninth one. The first one is 28, the next one is 87. Yeah, you get the idea. And also we can calculate with vectors. For example, if we times 2 to x, so the R will times 2 for each element of the x. 28 times 2 is 56, 41 times 2 is 82, and so on and so forth. And we can try the square root of x. Yes, it will square root each element of x. So when we name the objects, there are some rules. First, we have to start with letters. For example, x, then we can follow the numbers or and this and this. For example, with 37. That's possible, but if we start with numbers, that's not allowed. We cannot start with numbers to name an object. And please notice that the R is case sensitive. For example, here we have x to y to y. We got 37, but if we run it, type the uppercase x to y, upper x to y, z. Then we will object not found because we didn't assign this name. It's the small x. So we notice that a lot of mistakes, errors will return because you wrongly typed bigger x when it should be small x, or the vice versa. And I'll show you some basic functions of R. This one is in this RB binomial is like we toss 10 coins and toss 10 times. So each time we got how many times head, how many times tail. So we check here, which means the first time during the 10 toss we got 5 head. But here we just assume that the success is head. And second time 6 times head, and the third times 5 times head. So you will notice that the biggest number should be 10, and the small number should be 0. But in this case, we didn't find the 10 or 0 because that's very unlikely to happen in each 10 toes. That's all of them are tail, no head, or all of them are head, no tail. That's very unlikely. So we can check this table. This means we got one hit only once during the 100 times. Only once we got one hit and another nine tail. So the first, so we can use this outcome to do some basic functions. The first one is mean. Which means we average the all of these numbers. And the second one is max, mean. This one is find the biggest one. Here we have no 9, so with the biggest one is 8. The smallest one is 1. And what else? Oh, variance. It's 2.34, and standard deviation. Standard deviation is square of variance. So it's the same as this one. Yeah, just like this. Inside the function, you can have another function. So that's possible, but don't forget there's parentheses. If you like this, you miss the parentheses. The parentheses should be in pair, but here just inside is in pairs. Here you missed one, so it will get the R will assume that you haven't finished the type. So there's a plus sign to tell you continue to input. So you input another parenthesis, then it will run. Okay, how to get help? For example, if you don't know what's the mean function, is, you can question mark mean return, and you can find here. Here's the, you can find how to use the mean, and there is examples here, examples. Yeah, like this. You notice that the x has been overwrite because we have assigned a value to x, but now we assign the same another value to x, so it will be overwrite. And we find the mean, yes, 8.75. Okay. Yeah, that's for today's course. We have finished the lesson 1, and there is a very great, very good tutorial from Professor Greg. I really love his tutorial. I often watch his tutorials, and it's very clear. So you can watch it. You can find the link in the slides. And please practice. I have some homework. Please practice the tasks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and please practice. Practice makes perfect, you know. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave the comments below. I will respond as soon as possible. And thank you for watching. See you next time.